So everything that happens, the me or no me, eating or not eating, doing or not doing, nothing, being sick or healthy, is part of the dance and cannot be changed because it's already perfect as it appears. It's just our belief that we have to change what appears, but it's not possible to change anything because there is no me who can change it. So, Michael, so everything that appears, the me or the no me, eating or not eating, doing or not doing, I just don't know where to stop because the sentence is so long, is part of the dance and cannot be changed because it seemingly can be changed. So if you've got difficulties with eating, there seems to be an investigation that can happen and exercises that can appear that changes the course of your relationship with food. But the assumption that you're doing that is a lie. So I think what's happening in you slightly, Michael, is that you're crossing over levels. So on the human level, it appears as if we can do things. So it appears that I can chop up my potatoes after I finish this talk, put some oil on them and some salt and some herbs, and then bake them in the oven. And it appears like I can choose to do that as opposed to cooking myself a stir fry. Feels like it's a choice. I'm presuming more than likely it's going to be the potatoes, but it's seemingly a choice that I'm making, and it feels like it's my choice. But on the ultimate level, that choice is happening. So science says that when I go to do that after this talk, make my potatoes, science says that, you know, when I actually pick it up, I already made that choice up to 6 seconds prior to picking up the potatoes. So you can see that it's not actually you doing it, even though it comes with the appearance of choice. So if you want to heal from an eating disorder, say, then it appears like it's your choice and that you have to put effort into it. I meet a lot of people with like depression or eating disorders or alcoholism, and they believe it's not them, they've got to do nothing, and if they sit on the sofa they'll be miraculously cured, which is a possibility. There's always that possibility, but more than likely it's going to come through your effort to change that. And most of the time that's really scary for people because people are terrified of effort. They also like it because it gives them some hope as well. But either way, it's kind of like illusory anyway. You're just here in the moment, and the impulse is to change the eating disorder, and that's what you attempt to do by healthy exercises. So one healthy exercise would be not to buy naughty food in the house if you're having problems with eating food. So that would be something. But then at the same time, it's God's will as to whether that happens. Because who is the person choosing? The one that appears to be choosing is a complete illusion. The one that's like, oh, I'm going to go and get some Ben Jerry's. This is something that's happening. It's not actually the doer, but it appears like you do. Isn't that really contradictory and wonderful? Is it just our belief that we have to change what appears? So what happens is that when we separate from ourselves, which is consciousness, which happens when the identity kicks in at like 3 or 4 or 5, something like that, we begin to identify more with the timeline, more with the story of you, that I'm 5 years old, I have a bicycle, I like my mum, my dad, I have siblings, I go to school. And then what happens is, rather than just being, and that innocence and that wonder, we begin to identify with the story of who we're being told we are and who we believe we are. And then that game goes on for 20, 30 years maybe before it's confronted. And that game creates suffering because you become a limitation and you detach from your body. In order to maintain this game, you have to live up here in your brain. And you have to be constantly imagining who you are, who you want to be, who you want others to see you to be, what you want your life to be, where you're going to go, where you've been. So you're constantly like focused on this chakra, the third eye, and this image of you, because your body, because it's a lie, your body goes into like tightness and discomfort and the chakras closed because you're always lying to yourself about your experience. You're not conscious of it, but you're believing that you are something you're not, which is a body-mind that's moving through time. So when that begins to happen, that is uncomfortable. And then what we do from that discomfort, what this identity does, is it then tries to obtain more pleasure to get away from its own discomfort, but it has no consciousness of this. It always has a reason as to why it's uncomfortable, because this person is an asshole, because my parents didn't raise me correctly, because I made the wrong choice. There's always a reason as to why you're unhappy. And then there's always, for most people, a solution. If I had more money, if I didn't have to be isolated, if I had kids, if my kids lived nearer, if my kids cared more, whatever the story is. So this person then has all these stories, and then it seeks for pleasure to try and make itself feel better. So it seeks to get the kids' attention, say, it seeks to get money, and then it believes that that's going to actually make it feel better in this life, but it's never going to make you feel better. What's going to make you feel better is yourself, which is presence. Right here. So totally losing control. I know that sounds weird, but it's like letting go of that person. And it's a way, it's not the death of that person, it's like this death of that connection to that person, that's who you are, and it's sinking into the silence of what you are, and just letting that person arise when it needs to arise, rather than this other micromanager that's like, me, my things, this is my things. This gets contradicted, what's your things now, when we're all isolated and we don't know what jobs we're going to get or what the society is going to be like after. I don't know, I feel very drunk tonight. I'm not drunk. I've not smoked any wacky backy, but I feel very drunk, so I don't know if I'm always making sense. It's like this connection to freedom that there's not so much energy going into the thinking mind. So it could be that I'm not making correct sentences, or I'm jumping all over the place. I can't tell so much.